John Cohen, an ABC News contributor and former acting undersecretary for intelligence and analysis at the Department of Homeland Security, joining us live now to talk about this. Thank you for being with us.
Hey, John, thanks for your time. So the man arrested, as you know, is a 21-year-old, Jack Teixeira. The Pentagon is calling this, and I'm quoting here, a deliberate criminal act. So let me ask you this. I think I know the answer. Let me ask you this. In your opinion, should a 21-year-old be treated as a real criminal or an older young kid, if you know what I'm saying?
I mean, in this case, we need to take a step back and look at the situation. This is an individual who is who's in the military. He is a military intelligence officer. He has access to classified information. As being part of the military, he is expected to not only engage in activities that support military operations, but he's entrusted with national secrets. So when he violates that commitment, when he discloses national security information, he's going to be held accountable whether he's 21 or 51.
You know, we've been learning more and more about his background. We know Teixeira's rank was an Airman First Class E3. So does someone with that rank typically have access to this kind of classified information?
A big chunk of this classified information, at least what we know so far, was secret. And many, if not almost all active duty members have a secret level clearance. Many of them have access to secret level systems. And the current state of technology is once you're in these systems, you can access a broad range of information. So it's not unusual to me that a military intelligence specialist would have security clearances, be able to access classified information. What is disturbing to me is that he was able to inappropriately handle that information, apparently take it out of the secured facilities where it should be kept and stored, and he was able to photograph it, and he was allegedly able to post it up online. And it sat online in certain social media platforms for weeks before it was discovered by law enforcement and military officials.
So, John, let's take that point to the very next level. So what kind of risk does that leak pose to national security?
Well, if I was in my former job at the Department of Homeland Security, I would be concerned about a number of factors. One, what does this tell us about what we need to do to better safeguard classified information? There's technologies that we should be employing across these classified systems that better enable us to detect inappropriate handling or when people may be seeking to remove classified information from where it should be. We should be using those across the board. Secondly, I'd be concerned about what was this person's motivation? Was it perhaps ideologically motivated? Is this an individual who perhaps was adopting extremist viewpoints? We have heard that he may have been posting content in which he was using racial slurs, allegedly making anti-Semitic comments and firing a firearm. Does that tell us anything about his ideological belief system? And then finally, we really need to make improvements from a government perspective in how we evaluate online content. Foreign intelligence services, terrorist groups, domestic extremists, they have integrated internet-based communication platforms, social media, into their operational activities. We have to update our investigative and analytic activities to take that into account. And right now, we're not doing that.
All right. John Cohen, we thank you so much for your time. Former Homeland Security and ABC News contributor. We appreciate it.
Thanks, John. Great to see you.